Hey guys, welcome back to another portion of my Declutter series. Today we're going to be doing bronzers, and just specifically bronzers and contour palettes. There are a few things like this one that has a blush or a highlight mixed in, but for the most part it's just bronzers and contour palettes. So let's get started. Okay, first I have an e.l.f. contour palette. I will be keeping this. I really enjoy mixing the two. This is more of like a medium tone contour for me and a lighter bronzer. I love this yellow and this is more of like a highlight tone right there, and then this is more of like a banana shade. So I will mix the two of these for under eye, and I will mix the two of these for my face. This is in light. I forgot to mention, is it light? Yeah, because they do have a darker contour palette, like a medium, and I do have the light one. So I am going to be keeping that. I think this was $10. Great alternative in comparison to something else I'm going to show you. So I really like that. I have a Hoola Benefit bronzer. I've had this forever, and I actually do have an individual Hoola in, oh, I have it right here. Let me see. I went ahead, nope, it's not in that one. It's in this one over here. I went ahead and depotted this Hoola from, I don't know, some palette. I feel like this shade is a little bit different than this shade. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but like, look at that. Like, I don't know. Maybe on my, you can't really see it. On my finger, you can see it. I feel like the one here, this little sample, is a little bit more on the orange side than the other one. So I have a hard time using this. I use it very sparingly, and it feels like it's taking me forever. So I'm actually just going to depart. Yeah, I'm going to give this one away. Whatever. And I'm just going to keep that little guy in there because, again, I have all these other blushes in there. Why get rid of the palette, right? So next up, I have this Random Max Studio baked bronzer. It doesn't have a color. It's just a baked bronzer. But I got this from Marshalls or TJ Maxx, and it's one of those like baked products. I really don't like the color on me. It pulls very red. I don't know if you can tell there. It has a sheen which doesn't bother me at all, but it pulls red on my skin tone, which I don't know why, but for that reason, bye-bye. Infamous NYC Smooth Skin in Sunny. This is, yeah, Sunny, 720A Sunny. You know, I have tried so many years to like this product, and I just don't. So I am going to part with it. I've kept it for so long, and I'm always just like, no, I could use it. I could use it. It won't be a big deal. And then I just don't like it. So why keep it, right? I also have this Toasted Coconut Be Matte Blush from City Color, but this is obviously a bronzer. And it's funny, it's very similar to this one in the sense that they are like a deeper bronzer, but I don't know if you can tell this one has more red undertone than this one. And I don't really like this one. I can't make it work for my skin tone. So this one is kind of the same thing. Like, it pulls super red on me. I did like it. I did. But I just can't anymore. I much prefer the ones that have less red undertone because I'm already naturally kind of a red person. And I just can't do it anymore. So bye-bye. Next I have the e.l.f. Contour Blush and Bronzing Powder. This is a beautiful match for my skin tone. This one is in Fiji. I love the blush, beautiful blush, but the bronzer portion of it is, again, beautiful. Does not pull red. It's very neutrally bronze for me, and you can kind of tell in comparison to like this one. This one's more of an orangey color than that one. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but definitely love this one, so I will be keeping that. Same thing with this one, Wet n Wild Contouring Palette. This is in Dulce de Leche. I really like this super creamy color for setting the under eyes. Very beautiful, and this is a really pretty bronzer as well. I do have to be careful with this one because if I put it too much all over my face, it can pull a little bit red, but for the most part it definitely has more of a neutral undertone. And I keep comparing it to this one because it's the easiest, I feel like, to tell you. This one looks more of like an ashy brown in comparison to this one. Now for me, this is a contour palette, this one, so you do want more of an ashy color for a contour and more of a warm color for a bronzer. However, for me, it just does not work like that. So what I will do is contour my face with an ashy bronzer and blend it out with my ambient lighting powder from from Hourglass, not Ambient, from Hourglass, and it works very well for my skin tone, so I'm going to keep that one. Okay, so another infamous one, Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. It says medium deep matte bronzer, and this kind of is the same idea as these, but I mean, I don't know if you can tell the difference. Definitely more red tone, definitely more of a neutral tone, and this one I can use as a bronzer. Let's see in comparison to Hoola. Can you see the difference there? This one's a little bit lighter. I can use this one as an actual bronzer without being too like contour-y. Let me see. I just keep comparing all of these, I know, and I apologize, but I'm trying to get you guys to see kind of the difference there. Definitely more of like an ashy color that I can use as a contour or bronzer. This one's definitely a bronzer for me. It can go a little bit on the deep side for my skin tone, so I do have to be careful. And again, my face is a lot lighter. Maybe I should swatch it here. My face is a lot lighter. It's more like my underarm here than my hand. But it is really pretty, and it smells like chocolate divine. This is just a little sample, but I am going to keep it. Next up, I have the Lorac Pro Contour Palette. I did have the Anastasia, whatever the Anastasia one is called, the contour palette, and I did end up, I think, selling that one. I do prefer this one. I like the fact that it has 3 different contour colors. So what I do, I don't really touch the deep one. Maybe in the summertime I can kind of get away with mixing them, but I use the light contour as, like, I will contour with the medium contour, which I can actually kind of bronze with that one, and then this one I will go back and blend the two together, and it's a beautiful contour for me. The beige I will use all over my eyelid to set it. Yellow will obviously go under my eye, and then the shimmer is super pretty as like a basic highlight. I kind of am careful with this one though because it's very, very white, and I really prefer like a gold or an opal type color, but I love this palette. Again, the deep, oh, they're just so buttery smooth. The deep, I really have to be careful with because it is pretty deep. I could use it as an eyeshadow. I could probably use it as a very, very light contour if I took like the slightest amount and blended it out to the max. I mean, even then, you can still see it. So I do love this, and I traded it for the Anastasia Beverly Hills so I am going to keep that. Same thing with the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. I love this palette. Oh my gosh, I love this. So this says shade, so it's a cream contour contour bronzer. So I take it with just like a synthetic brush and put it in my contour areas and blend that out, and then I will go back and sculpt with the sculpting powder. Those are my 2 favorite, and then all of these are highlights, and just seriously, like, the most beautiful highlights. I love this. This one right here, this Fire, is a little deep for my skin tone, but I just, oh my gosh, so pretty. I know I'm not going over highlights, but it's part of the contour palette, so I'm definitely keeping this, definitely, if you couldn't tell. Next up, I have a L'Oreal Infallible Pro Contour in the color Light, and I got this because I couldn't stop hearing enough things about this contour. And, you know, it's really nice. It's definitely the right tone. It's an ashy gray color, and the highlight's pretty too. It's a nice, pretty gold. But I just kind of feel like, I don't know. Let me see if I have something similar. I kind of feel like I don't, but like that one's definitely more red. I don't know. Like this sculpting color from the Tarte palette is a little bit more on the, they're very similar. They're very similar. That's the Tarte one, and that is the L'Oreal. I think I'm just going to pass the L'Oreal palette. The highlight's beautiful, but I just really don't need another one. I have some already, so I'm going to pass that. Okay, I have the e.l.f. bronzer palette. This one is in Bronze Beauty, and it's the lighter. I think there's another deeper shade of this one too, and I love the variety of this. You can tell this one is more of a red-ish undertone bronzer. This one is more neutral, and this one is a little bit more warm tone as well, but has some yellow in it, and then this one has some glitter. So I love the variety that they give you here. Love the variety. And I feel like you could make, like, no matter what your skin tone is, you could make any of these work. This could even be a sculpting powder for some people. This one as well. This one's a little bit darker than that one, and these could be mixed as a bronzer. But this works well for my skin tone, and I am going to go ahead and keep it. I like the variety in it for sure. I got this from Steph. It's the M Cosmetics by Michelle Phan, and it's a contour stick in the color medium. So she did use this a little bit. I am not a huge fan of cream contour. This one especially is super orangey, and now that I got it home, I realized that, and I don't really like it. The only other cream contour that I have is this one from the Tarteist palette, and this one is more of a, like you can see, this is like bronzer. This is more of like a sculpting contour. I don't like this color. I think I got this for the highlight, but to be honest, I'm not even a huge fan of cream highlight either. It's beautiful, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pass that, even though I just got it from her. This one is an oldie but goodie. It's the e.l.f. Healthy Glow Shimmer Powder. This does have a blush on one side, but I'm just talking about the bronzer over here. It's the only shimmery bronzer that I own. I don't think I have another shimmery bronzer. I think everything else is matte, and this is beautiful. It almost could be a highlight depending on what color your skin tone is, and you can see I've hit pan, very little there, but I've hit pan. And what I will do is contour and then go back and kind of blend out the contour with this during the summertime only, because it does give you a really nice glow. So I'm for sure keeping that. And then I have this liquid bronzer. It's called the Shimmer Bronzer, and it's Temp 2. So it actually is made for an airbrush system. And I got it in a BoxyCharm, I believe. I went ahead and kept it because I was like, well, you don't have to use it in a system. You could always blend it out with a like a beauty blender. But again, it's kind of oily and it's a very orangey bronzer. And I just cannot see myself using it ever. So I'm going to go ahead and give that one away. And then the last bronzer slash contour product that I have is this bronze booster from Physicians Formula. This is in matte sculpting. I picked this up not that long ago, within the last couple of months. The packaging is very annoying that it doesn't open up all the way. I hate that. But it does come with a nice little brush. And I do really love the colors here. So this like yellow banana shade is super great for under the eyes. The sculpting shade is the perfect shade for me. Although I do have that other one in the Tarte palette that pretty much matches that. But I do also love this bronzer. It is orangey and you do have to be careful with it, but it's not so orangey that it makes you look crazy, which I really like. So I am going to keep this one as well. So out of everything that I have, I am getting rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products, which is not that bad considering I really didn't have that much to begin with at all. So again, just like all my other declutters, I will be doing an updated makeup collection video soon so I can show you what all I kept and how I organized it. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick bronzer declutter, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!